Does anybody out there feel like they have enough clamps? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 2 is 18. I have 20 clamps on this, and I wish I had another half dozen to 10 so that I could really get it clamped good. Am I the only one out there that feels that way? Here's a couple more. I bought a whole bunch of these little plastic tiles at a yard sale many years ago, knowing that I would someday use them. And sure enough, this whole jar was full of them, and I've almost gone through the entire bunch. I wish I had more. I believe these are made out of a phenolic type plastic. And so we're doing these wood stack ups, and so I'm using CA glue here to punctuate, if you will, the wood with a little stripe of color. So just put one of these yellow ones in here, move it around, glue it, and making these nice little stacks. And this phenolic, these little phenolic pieces are very friendly to the lathe. You can really do a nice job with them. So I'm putting these in the stacks here just to add a little accent like this, and I'll let that dry for a while. Here are some of our little blanks here that we're going to be turning on the lathe. You can see that just random shapes, random color combinations, and we should come up with some pretty interesting little pulls. Center drill these to take an arbor. This is just a piece of a screw. I've got a little divot in the center so that I can put that on the live center, and then I'll chuck this end up, and then I'll turn this here. So I've got this is about 180 in diameter, so I've got a 190 bit. You can see it going through the phenolic there. And boy, I can smell the phenolic. That is a very nasty chemical there. So we're going to turn these on the lathe, and so I don't have too much material that I have to turn down. I just make a rough circle on there, and what I'll do is I'll cut this thing down on the bandsaw and get it a little closer to round. See, I make this little tool here. It's just a piece of steel, and if I have a hole on small work, I'll use this to kind of to help control the small piece as it goes through the blade. And it helps me keep my fingers away from the business end of the blade, and just gives the part a little bit of stability. What I do is I use a little centering bit, and I'll put a divot right there on the end of the screw, so I have a place to put the live center on the lathe. And so this we're going to just put it into this 3-jaw chuck here, like so. Tighten that down. We'll go ahead and get the live center lined up, and we will tighten this thing down. That's a good shape. Getting pretty smooth here. Looking pretty good. That's actually pretty darn good right there. So let's see if we can go down one more grit. 600. And I have real good success just with finishing lines. Let's put it straight on there. I salvage chain off of anything that we toss. These are out of some old blinds, and I think I got these off of the neighbor's ceiling fan. But I always save these little bits of chain. Yet I still needed to go to the hardware store to get some more chain because I really didn't have the colors that I needed. So we're all set and ready to start putting these together. Well, I bought some of these little clasps at the Ace Hardware along with a few lengths of chain here. And I've got this particular pole here. It's all polished and ready to go. It's got a small hole on the top, and then I drilled it out to a 1/4 inch on the bottom. So when the chain goes through, you have to have something on the end of it to keep it from pulling out the top. So they had some little connectors over there at the Ace, but anybody that knows me knows I am not paying 13 cents a piece for those. So I decided I could do something a little thriftier than that. So what I do is I just get a little piece of wire here like this. Just tighten it up on there, and you're good to go. Okay, we'll just do a little clip off the excess, and that should be good enough. I'm going to squash it just a little more. So I've made that little wire ball, if you will, on the end. Let's see if it works. Drop it through the big hole and through, and bingo. That'll work just fine. All right, getting near the end here. Let's take a little 1/4 inch dowel and just insert it in there as far as it'll go, and make a little pencil mark on here so I know where to cut it off. Okay, I've cut this off. Now, one thing I do before I cut it off is I'll take it over to the sander, and I'll just kind of put a burnish on the end of that so that it's not so visible. So it'll fit right in there. I'm going to put a little CA glue in the hole, and this one will be done except for some light polishing. And so I've got my CA down in there, and just kind of twist it a little bit so that it gets a good distribution, and just force it on in there, and it's nice and flush. So I'll do a little bit of sanding on the end there just to get rid of some of that, some of the marks from where it was in the mandrel, and I'll add a little wax to it, and this one will be done. Well, we're done for the day. We did 4 chain pulls, and I cut a couple of larger pieces here. I thought these would make nice tool handles, so I cut these a little bit bigger, and I'll hold on to those. And I'm thinking about maybe making an awl or something out of this one, and maybe a little screwdriver or something, I don't know. This was a fun project. I'm going to make some more of these. I've got what I think are some ash panels that are maybe 3/16 thick, so I'm going to use some of those for my light colors next time. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and get something out of it. If you like it, please let me know. I love the comments that I get from my subscribers and viewers. And if you're not a subscriber, I sure hope that you'll consider becoming a subscriber. I put a new video out at least once a week, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times. You just never know. It just depends on how energetic I'm feeling.